Alrighty, so doing a Dead Souls tutorial for any percent specifically. Um, I figure that's probably the most. This isn't exactly the most popular Yakuza run or even game to play, but if you're gonna learn the run, any percent's probably one of the best places to start. Unless you're Panda and you're gonna do Dead Souls difficulty, but couldn't be me. I tried, and that category does not really spark joy for me. But anyway, I know when I'm learning a new run, it's really great to have like more resources to learn a run because sometimes just reading somebody's notes or, watching their run isn't quite enough to like get it, which is why I wanted to make this to try to explain certain stuff. And my notes that I do have will be linked when I put this on YouTube, and they're also on SRC in the guide section if you need those. There's also in my notes, there's not only the actual route, but there's a list of like upgrade materials you need for any percent and also all sub stories, and I'm on percent. And this is just my favorite run that I do. I love this game, and the run is very fun. But yeah, basically, I wanted to make a guide for the any percent speed run, but I do think that even if you're not speedrunning, there might be some parts about the run that would be helpful if you're just trying to play the game in general. Because I know a lot of people I've seen online, and myself included, they get to Ryuji's part, and first of all, his chapter one sucks ass. And I had to look up what they do in the run just to like figure out the fucking forklift. But yeah, as far as like what you need to be as fast as possible hardware wise, you're gonna need a PS3 Super Slim, which is about 3 minutes faster load times than the regular Slim. I have no idea about the PS3 Fat, so can't tell you that. But you will save time on a Super Slim, and you need an SSD. So that's like your standard 2.5 inch SATA SSD. Swap it out from the hard drive, and that'll save a lot of load time. And then the last thing, load time wise, is um, it needs to be the digital version of the game. It's a lot faster than disc version. Hey Val, how's it going? But yeah, so basically, the most important things hardware wise, PS3 Super Slim. Slim is only 3 minutes slower, so not too bad if that's what you have. SSD and digital version of the game. And then really quick, I'll go into the settings you want to be on. So you want to be on control type A. This is default. The reason I recommend type A is by default um you shoot with R1. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, you shoot with R1, which is a little weird even for a third person shooter, and then you reload with square. This isn't very great of a layout to play casually, but I do recommend this for the speedrun because we're going to be panning the camera down on the right stick constantly. So you want to be able to attack while panning the camera down. That's very difficult to do with type B because shooting is square. And then I actually originally learned this game with type B, but because I learned the speedrun with the type A, I've completely forgotten how to do type B. And if you want to be fast with this run, I just don't recommend this at all. But it did feel pretty good casually. Thanks for the good luck, Val. But yeah, camera is all personal preference. You have to have your minimap displayed. Actually, I'm assuming you do. I do anyway. And I highly recommend you keep that displayed on all Yakuza games, honestly. I don't have it rotating. That's just another personal preference thing. Skip events needs to be on, or else you can't skip the cutscenes. And everything else is just whatever. So yeah, for any percent, we do the run on easy. So when you're getting ready to start a run and you're going to start the timer on live split, you would go to new game and then hover over easy. And then I usually just count myself down like 3, 2, 1, go. And when you click on easy, that's when you would start the timer. So yeah. And to skip cutscenes, you can usually just hold down the start button. But some of them, like this one's an example, you actually can't be holding the start button. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So you need to like separately press start. So in general, sometimes I'll just like, not, you don't have to mash start button, but you know, just be pressing it over and over. And then to skip dialogue, it's the same as most other Yakuza games. You hold down R1 and confirm. And then you'll see right away we're starting to pan the camera down while walking. And we want to do this almost constantly while walking. Watch out for these pedestrians. Bumping into them does slow you down, so you want to try not to collide with the pedestrians. And then we'll get into the first tutorial here. So yeah, I'll probably leave it on the text box here so I can explain before we start. But you see there's a bunch of zombies in front of us. It wants us to just shoot at them, which I'm gonna walk around while shooting. Like this. And you're holding L1. If you hold L1 while you're just walking, that's like to strafe, so it lets you shoot. And then basically I'm walking around because I want to try to hit all the zombies if possible. Because by the end of this tutorial, we want to kill them all with one shot. So in this part now, it's just press square to reload and then take a shot and do that 3 times in a row. And I'm still walking around because I'm just trying to keep hitting different zombies. And basically this next part is about strafing, so just keep shooting them and make sure you're strafing, because that's what they're looking for. And I missed my reload. Actually, I was trying to reload. You'll see that I had 3 shots left. If you have like 3 or 4 shots left, I recommend while you're strafing to hit reload before your clip empties out, because as you saw here, I got interrupted by the tutorial. So now I have to reload before I can shoot. So it's really nice if you could sneak in that reload before that happens. That way you can just start shooting for this part. But yeah, they all died in one shot, which is what we were trying to do. Honestly, if some stuff goes bad, I might have to like put in some B-roll of like what's supposed to happen. For these pedestrians here, I like to go off to the right a little bit, because there's usually, if you try to go off camera to the left, you're probably going to bump into somebody. And then we're going to Sky Finance. When you see this red sign right here, then you know you're going to turn into this alley. And then carefully go up the stairs. It's a little hard to get like a good angle to get on the stairs without getting stuck, basically, which is a problem in a lot of these games. And I'll just keep saving while we go. But yeah, skip a couple cutscenes, and then we go into our next tutorial already in Sky Finance. So this one, it wants us to dodge. And if you see, like, by Hana's desk there's like a little exercise machine and like the little bookcase. I'm gonna try to wedge myself by dodging into that little corner twice, and then if you... So, I wish I had a hand cam. I wish it was possible to show an input display with PS3, but the only way I could think of would be to do this on emulator, which I'm not doing. So basically we're dodging forward twice into that corner and then backwards once, which just means don't hold the stick at all. So 1, 2, let go of this left stick and back. And then you have to kick the zombies. Ideally, what would happen here is those 3 zombies will stay as close as possible to the door so that you can do everything you need right there. But what happens very often is one of them, if not 2, will kind of scatter throughout the room and make it really annoying to deal with. So sometimes if one of them walks too far away from the other 2, you can kind of manipulate Akiyama to, like, be in the right position so that you can kick them back together. See, that one went off to the side. You just have to do like 5 kicks. Sometimes you don't have to do 5 kicks because one of them will hit 2 in the same hit. But then this next part, we grab a piece of furniture, and we're going to try to grab this little table. So you'll just kind of get used to where it is in the room, but it's back here. And that happens a lot. You just grab the couch and get the rest of them. And then you just shoot them to finish. And then reload. The thing about Dead Souls is you'll see me reload very frequently in the early game. This part's unskippable, by the way. But yeah, I will reload a lot in the early game because we don't have the sprint shirt yet. So it doesn't really matter that much. But you'll want to reload, like, in cases like this where I just did, because when we go to the next area, basically the game remembers where you are in your ammo. So if your clip was empty at the end there and you didn't reload, it would be empty when we go to the next spot. So you want to just keep paying attention to your ammo and then reload when it feels necessary. And then we get one more little tutorial here. Just come over to this alley. And we're gonna walk up and try to headshot these guys if we can. Nice. So that was actually really good. I don't usually do that well. But it's okay if you don't get a headshot, just keep shooting at them, and basically once both of them are dead, it'll say success. And then you want to immediately press start and go into your abilities and get head tracking. And when you unlock abilities in this game or do any kind of menuing, as soon as you're done unlocking an ability, you can just press start to immediately exit the menu. Like that. And there are what we call the cutie girl figures, or sometimes you'll hear us say anime figures. There's one back here. I'll go ahead and get it just so I can show you that it's over here. I don't normally get it when I do any percent runs, but it's pretty good safety to get some money, like in the beginning of the run. And we're gonna come into this building and start shooting. Doesn't really matter if you kill these zombies, we just want them to be out of the way. Try to get past them. There is another anime figure right there if you need that. Oh my god. But the reason I don't like to get it is because those two zombies will often get in the way. And you could just roll here, and it'll be positioning you in the perfect spot to shoot these barrels. And then wait a second. And then try to roll towards the left side of the room there. To, you know, try to...
Big No-No subbed tier 1 for 8 months. A tutorial from multiple WA holder garlic bread.
No. Thank you for this, hold on one sec. Let me grab this. You want to grab this pipe? And then just press attack to, like, start swinging it. And try to roll down here. You're gonna get stuck on the zombies. Don't worry too much about it. And you can keep carrying it, you'll automatically drop it in the next room. And then we want to try to get some headshots here. Oh my god. That was a terrible room, but you get the idea. Oh my god. He didn't even die. And then shoot that thing by aiming down sights. But yeah, how's it going, No? Sometimes this zombie gets out of the way, like that. But sometimes you'll have to shoot that zombie. And in this part, they want you to do a heat snipe, so I walk forward. And again, try to get some headshots. And it builds up your heat bar. And then you just press triangle and R1 to do the heat snipe. And this QTE is always circle on easy. You're good. Thanks for the good luck, No. Spin.
Spin Ayan subbed at tier 1 for 3 months.
Thank you for the 3 months. How's it going? I forgot I did that for the hype train. That's funny. Thank you, Spin. Ah! Oh my god. This escalator is a pain in the ass. But yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 3 or 4 steps that Akiyama takes there. And then I, like, roll into that scene transition. It's slightly faster than just walking. That's why you'll see me roll into doorways and camera transitions. It's usually a bit faster than just plain walking. So I'm not doing it just for fun. Though it is fun. And I'll show you where there's another anime figure in case you find yourself needing money. And if you go, it's in this room right here. If you want to get that, and then you come over here. So if you're not getting that anime figure, you could just go straight to the door. I do recommend getting some extra figures if you're just starting out, but eventually you'll get used to the run and how much money you need. And, you know, get a feel for which ones feel necessary to get or not. Yeah, thank you guys for the hype train. That's very nice. This is a good spot to reload if you haven't, while you're walking down the stairs there. And then they basically tutorialize us on getting new weapons equipped. So they want you to go into the start menu and equip these weapons. So go to equipment, and then I put the like Desert Eagle on top, and then doesn't really matter where you put them, but that's just what I like to do. Oh, I hype for Dead Souls? Yeah. And then basically, once you equip those, you can just press start to get out of there. Talk to Nagahama again. And then it's going to give us a tutorial. Akiyama has all the tutorials because he's the first character. So it wants you to command your like NPC. So sometimes you're with an NPC and basically you can tell them follow me, or like it's called back me up, or up to you, or tell them to attack. So for this, it doesn't really matter. Pull out the... I like to use that little couple seconds there to pull out the Desert Eagle. And then this is when you're holding R2. It brings up this menu, so now they want you to heal him. So that's just holding R2 and then press circle. And then start shooting some zombies with the Desert Eagle. Because we want to try to build up the heat bar before we get upstairs. Because we're going to do another heat snipe. So I'll just shoot like 3 of them, reload, and then it brings you up here. And like we just did before, do a heat snipe. My bad, we didn't have the heat yet. Now we do the heat snipe. And this is another circle QTE. And then I like to immediately get the camera pan back down to try to, because that's, as you see, the explosion tanks the frame rate as much everything in the game. And then take out the balalaika, and we get introduced to the meathead here. Basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold L2 so that we are aiming down sights kind of thing, and start aiming towards the right. There's a yellow barrel we want to shoot that's going to damage the meathead and some of the zombies. So basically you're going to see me aim to the right to shoot the barrel, and then I'm going to start aiming at the meathead to try to kill him as soon as possible. And then just kill the rest of the zombies here. You'll see there's ammo boxes here. We don't really need that. But if you're low for whatever reason, you can get some. And you don't have to worry about switching back to your pistols because it does that for you in this particular case. Sometimes the game will switch you back to a certain weapon and sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of weird. But you want to actually switch back to the large automatic, because it one-shots these zombies. And basically we're just shooting zombies while we're walking during this early part of the game, because we want to get our kill count up to get a bunch of like points for Hasegawa, who is that lady in the lab coat that we saw before, talking to Akiyama. Later in the run, we're gonna talk to her and redeem points. This crybaby you can just ignore. Just walk past her. And I'm switching back to the pistols right before leaving because in the next area it'll remember what you had equipped. But yeah, that's it for this little part here. And this is the end of chapter 2. You just have to skip a cutscene and do a little bit of dialogue before the chapter closes. And I'm just gonna go ahead and save. If you're learning the run, I definitely, like I said before, recommend saving as you go. Make separate saves if you need to, especially like if you want to practice certain stuff. Right in the beginning here, we're gonna skip like one piece of dialogue and then we're gonna immediately turn around. So I'll explain when you can see the minimap here. Turn around. So you'll see there's the waypoint. We're actually walking away from it because they want us to go to talk to Kamiyama. But there's another Kamiyama that we can talk to here that's like a couple seconds faster to reach than the one they want you to. And we're going to do our first shop menu of the run here. So basically what you want to do first is sell. I'd like to do the weapons first. Sell both of those. And then sell items. And why do I have this shit? This isn't normally here. I need to like, I don't know if this is because I'm playing on my main profile, but normally I don't see this here. And then just sell the anime, whatever anime figures you got, you could sell the heal and then your submachine gun ammo. If you did get a block of steel or like a scrap iron, keep those. Make sure don't sell those. And then buy weapon. And then you want 1 stack of grenades and the sniper rifle. And then buy items. And for the run, we definitely only need like 1 stack of rifle ammo. If you're just starting out and you're really paranoid about ammo, you could buy an extra, but it's a little bit overkill. And that's it for that menu. And I forgot to equip the rifle, but that's fine. Normally, I recommend you just equip it right there before leaving, just so you don't forget. Oh my god, my PNG is going crazy. Hold on. That's what sucks about this room being like right across the wall from an outdoor like massive AC unit. There's like 3 of them right outside. So sometimes my PNG picks up like the humming in the mic. But yeah, so at this point we want to equip, which like I said, we should have done this in Kamiyama's truck. I put the grenades on up D-pad and then the rifle on left. And then you can just talk to that guy. Top option. Then I take out the rifle. Doesn't really matter if you're using the rifle or the pistols at this point. Whichever you think is better for you. And then we're just going upstairs. This took me a long time to like get used to the route you're supposed to go, because it can be very confusing, like the way the environment looks in this game. And then you'll see here, there's another anime figure. I'll go ahead and grab this one, just for good measure, but yeah, usually I'll just turn around and go right back downstairs, but you can grab that anime figure and then go back downstairs. And then we just come back down these stairs. Basically, we're going back the way we came. And then remember to stay to the left over here. And then just go through the doors. There's also, like, you'll end up seeing where there's ammo boxes, especially when you're doing any percent, because we're on easy, so there's a lot of ammo boxes in case you ever get low. And you don't want to spend, like, money or go to Kamiyama. Oh my god. This PNG is driving me nuts. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, no.
Easy boxes are always the same. I'm pretty sure they are. There's definitely some that I always see. I don't think there's random. The only randomness might be like how many stacks of ammo are in it, because there's a couple boxes where I've seen like a slight difference in what's like inside the box. Yeah, at this point we basically just have to walk across town. So you're going all the way down this street. And I just try to stick to this side, like kind of follow this white line here on the road. And then you'll see this pile of trash over here. Don't go to the left of it, because even though it looks like you can slide through, you can't. And then just turn there. And we're going to Dr. Emoto's clinic. You can slide through this pole here at the corner, though. And it's just a bunch of dialogue, regular dialogue skipping.
Okay.
Okay. And then we are back outside, and we run into Gary. Just come over here and talk to Gary.
Hey, yeah. Yes. Akiyama Ch.
And this whole time I'm just holding R1 and confirm, because there's going to be a bunch of dialogue. And here we're going to be talking to Gary. You'll see him raise his right arm. That's when you know to start getting ready to pick this top option here.
Bye.
And then as soon as we get into the minigame, you want to hit select and stop playing. You have to go up twice. There's a really massive menu delay there, so just be careful. And then just go to the door. And it's going to ask us if we want to teleport to the manhole, which is the top option. So I'm holding down on up on the D-pad so that I can quickly select the top option here. And then here, they wanted to fuck with you, so it's the bottom option. And yeah, you'll see actually, if you look at my experience bar, which is right on top of the HP bar, we have like most of the way there to another level up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take out the rifle, and there's gonna be a crybaby around the corner. We're gonna kill the crybaby. Just go past these crybabies down here. Let's start shooting. Kill her. And we're almost about to level up, so sometimes that's enough to level you up. I'm trying to level up basically before we... But I don't want to get too much XP. Oh god. Alright, watch out for that. When you're going by the meathead there, I stick to his right side. If he's facing you, he is gonna swing. So you want to, like, as soon as you get right in front of him, just roll through his attack. If he's facing away from you and you're, like, his back is turned to you, then you don't have to worry at all. You can probably just walk right past him. Basically, there we go, we leveled up. What I was saying is I want to level up, but I don't want to get so much experience that it's like a bunch of the way into the next level up. This is a bit like kind of advanced, to be honest, but it saves you a little bit of time in the level up screen. And you'll see it a lot of the times I'm like shooting while I'm turning corners and stuff, because there's usually zombies that are going to be in the way. Like those two were in the way, that's why I took out the dual pistols. We're going to switch back to the rifle here. Make sure it's loaded. And just try to walk past everybody here. And go upstairs. And then as soon as we get control of Akiyama, you want to aim down sights with the rifle, so you're holding L2 for that, and shooting, so to try to get headshots. We want to get headshots on the zombie right in front of us here. And that's really bad. That sucks. Normally what happens is, I swear, because it's like the game knows we're trying to do a tutorial, so it's gonna just give me all the bad RNG. Like right after you hit start after this, aim down sights and do a headshot. And then let go and aim again, so you can shoot the other zombie that fell on the floor. And just press start to skip that phone call and start walking. And then we're gonna get introduced to the monkey boy. We can ignore him. Just keep walking. And go down the stairs here. And then I'm gonna shoot through some of these guys while we walk through. And then we're gonna see another tutorial text here. And it's just talking about, like, this kind of vehicle weapon here, but we don't actually have to do anything with that. We can just keep walking. Then you can go down this manhole here. And while we're walking here, I have obviously the camera panned and everything, so I'm gonna claw my left like finger up to the up D-pad so we can pull out the grenades. And I'm gonna stand right here. You see this thing? and then aim and throw. Switch back to your pistols. And then start shooting the barricades. The pistols do a lot more damage than the rifle for whatever reason, so that's why I did pistols there. And you saw an anime figure came out of that group of zombies, which is pretty lucky. Sometimes they won't drop anything. So basically you just want to always be paying attention to zombies that are dropping stuff. Like, you might need to take a second to pick something up. Just go right past everybody here. And there's a cutscene. And then when you hear the music, get ready to skip dialogue and turn around immediately. Turn around. We have the rifle out, which is very important. We're gonna do some headshots on a meathead here. And you see, like, I'm doing headshots and then letting go and then re-aiming a few times in a row, and that way, because we have the head tracking skill, it's a lot easier to get the headshots there. And this is one of the few times in the run I'm gonna say, let go of the camera. So stop panning down for a second while you go through this room. And you'll see, stay on the left of that zombie, because he always lunges forward, so you can slip behind him as he gets up. And that's a lot more consistent when you let go of the camera in that room. We're just going back up where we came from. And now we're going over here to this room. Fall down this hole here. Try to slide through this door. And sometimes you'll see, like, when you're going through doors and stuff, it might feel a little easier to get through spaces if you, like, very briefly let go of the camera. That's kind of the thing you probably have to get a feel for, because unfortunately not all rooms are the same that way. So we go through here, and this is extremely important. You want to remember we're hitting R2 to command Nagahama. Tell him to back me up. And now, as soon as this text goes away, we start going to the left. And just stay to the left here. And don't attack anyone, just go. And basically, this is... Of course, this is bad. Hopefully he doesn't get too distracted. But you'll see Nagahama's stopping to shoot zombies. That's what we don't want. Sometimes he'll just follow you. But basically, you want to get to where I was just standing. And Nagahama's actually the cutscene trigger. It's not a regular area trigger. So that's why we want Nagahama to follow as best as possible. So that's why it's super important to tell him before we get into that room to back you up. It's an area trigger for Nagahama, exactly. At the beginning of chapter 4 here, you're getting a phone call from Nagahama, so I'm holding R1 confirm, and I'm also tapping start to just get through the phone call. And if you do that pretty quick, you don't even have time to be able to tell you're on the phone. And here we get introduced to the NPC Kine, who's irrelevant to any percent, and almost every other category, thank God. He's only relevant if you're doing, like, completion stuff, or if you're one of the crazy people who wants to do a 1%. Yeah, just get rid of this text, and then talk to Nagahama, bottom option. Who would ever do that? Yeah. Yeah, shoot these two zombies, reload, and come up here and get ready to start shooting right around the corner. And just get ready, like... The monkey boy's really annoying. You just kind of get used to his behavior. But yeah, he dropped a scrap iron, which is really good. We only need one for the upgrades we're gonna do. There is another anime figure right here to the left. This hallway I also like to let go of the camera there. Come on, dude. Really? I'm getting stuck on like every zombie. But yeah, you go talk to that thing. And then... Camera? Okay. Okay. I pretty much never have to go over here, but... And we just come down here, go straight, past this item box, interact with the wall, come back out. Alright. Take out the pistols and come to the corner here. I'm just shooting the zombies as they drop in. Do a quick reload. Switch to the grenades and aim here. Throw it at them. And you'll see 8 zombies died. That's all of them. So then you know you can go ahead and pick up this chainsaw. And we're gonna press triangle to attack with it. And it's actually really good if you can get some furniture wedged between you and the special infected. Ah, man, he got out. Akiyama, where are you going? Are you for real? You have to hold the button. Get the meathead and the monkey boy. Great. And then just shoot the door there, switch to the rifle. Make sure the rifle's loaded before you go upstairs. There's one last ammo box in case you're low right there. But otherwise just go all the way upstairs. And we're gonna do our first, like, big story boss here. I'm sure it'll go great. I swear, I'm gonna have to, like, I'm gonna get the worst RNG in this tutorial, and I'm gonna have to, like, just insert, like, B-roll to be like, well, this is how it should have went. But basically, at the beginning here, we're gonna go forward and to the right, and then turn around, because Arahabaki is going to come charging at us, so you don't want to get smacked by him. So like I said, over here, and then turn around. Just shoot him like 2 or 3 times, and then he should start coming to the middle of the room. And you're getting ready to do a heat snipe. As soon as you see that you can, circle, QTE. And then you gotta come up closer to him and try to hit the weak spot. Alright, that was pretty good. And then he's gonna crawl up on the wall, just keep shooting him. Come on, dude. Move back here, because he's gonna do the swinging attack. There we go. And yeah, that was actually not bad. He didn't go into the ceiling, which is what we're always trying to avoid with this fight. But basically, when you first get started with this run, you're probably going to have him do the whack-a-mole phase, which is when he jumps up into the ceiling. You're going to see his little like head poking out, and you have to shoot his head up in the ceiling to get him to fall out, and then you get another chance to hit his weak spot. Ideally, that's, you know, we don't do any of that if we can basically do what just happened here. But yeah, this particular fight especially took me a lot of practice to get like even semi-consistent, and it's still very heavy on the RNG. That weak spot that you see, even though it looks big, is very, very tiny. It's very hard to get your critical hits there. And then we get to start playing as Majima. So as soon as you have control, just start shooting these zombies in here. There's 15 zombies in this room, so look at your kill count. There we go. And then get out of the room. There is a millionaire zombie. I don't know if I don't think I talked about millionaire zombies, but they're the ones running around with the yellow jacket. And they drop rare materials or money. Luckily, we don't really care about them in any percent, but I still sometimes go for them if they're on the way, because they can drop money. So this one's right here. You shoot it from across the corner. That's a healing item. I'm not even getting that. But yeah, sometimes they'll drop some extra money, which is nice. And it looks like we have no ammo, but that's fine, because we're about to get some. Just come upstairs here and around the hall. And then over here. And then we're gonna go to this item box right here. And usually that's exactly how much ammo there is in there. Sometimes there's only 4 stacks instead of 5, but that's fine. And there's healing items if you think you need them. And come out the room. Now we got plenty of ammo for now. And then you want to shoot while... Oh my god. That's why I was trying to say you want to shoot while entering the room, because sometimes they'll body block the door. You can ignore this guy. Just try to get out of here. Some of these rooms like that can be really annoying. Gonna do a bit of shooting and also rolling to try to just get through. The problem is when you knock a zombie on the floor and they're still alive, they can body block you. Hey Firelight, how's it going? You want to shoot this crybaby as soon as possible. See, she started screaming, so she was able to call for more zombies to show up. It is possible to kill her before she can call for backup, but it's just pretty random. Sometimes even when you're really fast, the zombies still spawn in. Yeah, you want to be watching the ground. So you see, like, the ones that are still alive. Sometimes they'll get back up before you have a chance to kill them. Fatties, like the ones we just killed, they drop elastic alloy, which we don't need for the run. So you'll see, like, I'll kill fatties and then they'll drop a shiny and I won't bother picking it up because it's probably elastic. Or even worse, it's a fatty fork, which we don't need at all. But yeah, we can just go to the next area here. When I see that manhole, like, I'll roll forward into it to get to the cutscene trigger a little quicker. And we have Onraki. He's a huge pain in the ass. I hate this guy. What I'm gonna do is try to shoot at his, like, rocks all over his body. And you'll see the frame rate's gonna tank hardcore. Backstep when you see him do that. Backstep. Oh. I have to reload, so I'm just gonna come over here. Nice. Aw, shit. I thought we were gonna get really lucky, but he went into this transition here. So now he's probably gonna grab one of these cars, unfortunately. Which is very common. It's what he usually does. Never mind. You know, this is why I saved. Because this is, like, horrific RNG. And see, now we're right next to him. And we're actually too close to get the good damage. Because he's right here. See that? So I'm just gonna try again. Like, throughout the entirety of me grinding PBs in this run, like, I've had a ton of really, really bad luck with this guy in particular. And it's just a little bit difficult to get some good RNG. Oh no, he's doing that. Okay. If you see him ball up like that, he's gonna charge forward, so I just like to get over here and then keep shooting him from here. He'll turn around. Now, the unfortunate thing is luckily we got some, like, nice damage, but we have no ammo and we have to reload now. So he's very likely to pick up the car. It's actually decent so far. Wait for him to expose the weak spot. Sometimes if you see him running for the car, like, you cannot stop it, so... And you can shoot him right through the car. You just have to kind of get used to where that weak spot is. But yeah, like, if you're actually a decent distance away, there's, like, a sweet spot where you'll do really good damage. Because if you're too close, you'll do less damage. If you're way too far, then you might not do, like, you might just miss. So picking up the car isn't really the end of the world. It's a matter of, like, being able to shoot him through the car at a good distance. But yeah, he has a lot of weird attacks that he does, and sometimes you'll see more of them than others, and then he'll randomly pull out an attack that you know, only see 2% of the time and be like, oh, I forgot you even do that. Like, he'll do this, like, weird pile driver fucking body slam. Here we get introduced to the aggro. We don't have to kill him. It's one of those awkward camera transitions, so you'll see Majima's like... I'm having to tilt the stick like this way toward the direction we're like going, and then the camera kind of transitions over, and then you have to like move the stick with it, kind of. And basically we're just going to the exit here so we can go back to the safe zone. And this is another reason I keep saving as we go, because there are some spots in the run where we can just get a crash, and some are more common than others. It seems to like, I don't know, some of the crash points that we get are more common for other people than, you know, me, for example. I get Pops crash a lot. Or like Hayashi crash. But the transition into this chapter here, like after this save screen, I've had a crash here too, so definitely saving. I'll probably explain the crash rule once we get to like Ryuji, because that's where I like to do it. But yeah, skip a cutscene, then some dialogue. Get rid of that text, and then just keep walking. And at this point, we just go straight to the waypoint, which is like all the way across town. You'll notice that there are a couple of taxis on the map, but there's only like 3 taxis in this game, in Kamurocho. So they're kind of like not very useful to get where you need to go in any percent. We do use taxis a few times in the Ass run, though. Oh, I guess I'll just note really quick. This is super important. When you're walking this way, like where we're just coming over here, you go past Kamiyama's truck, and you might think you might want to like cut through this little area here. Do not do that, because you see that's Majima's hostess right there, and she has a really wide area trigger that goes like well into this whole little lot here. So just don't even go in there, just go stay on the outside of it, because you'll lose like over a minute just talking to her. And then we just come down this street. And then come around the corner here. I think when we finish Majima's part, I'll probably take a little bathroom break. But yeah, let's finish out Majima. Just come over here. You can ignore everybody here. There is a millionaire zombie if you want to try to get anything he has. And it's up here. And yeah, this next area is another one of those spots where we have to just kill every single zombie in this area. I try to take care of the special infected early. Especially this monkey boy. And then just watch your ammo so you can reload as soon as it's empty. If you have an empty clip of ammo, like if your gun goes empty and you try to shoot while it's empty, you'll reload it automatically, but the animation for the reload is a lot slower. So that's why you want to always be paying attention to your ammo and manually reload. There's a Molotov zombie right here. And then we come up the escalator. We're actually in Komodo Hills. So it's this escalator right here. And you see there's actually that guy is the NPC we need to talk to, but it doesn't let us like cut through these tables here, which is super nice of RGG, thank you. So we have to walk all the way around. Another room, I like sometimes let go of that camera just to get through the door more easily. And we have a cutscene. And I'm definitely gonna save. Because this is one of those spots that we can get a crash. That we call baby rage. You get a text, talk to Daigo. Bottom option. Another cutscene. And we start baby rage. So I'm gonna tell Daigo to attack, but to be honest, it doesn't matter that much. Don't worry about Daigo. I'm gonna try to shoot my way through this doorway. You'll see me going through this room here. And that was pretty good. Basically, there's somebody like always throws a mannequin, and sometimes it'll hit Majima and knock you on the floor, which is why I try to go into that room like while shooting and try to get out of that room as fast as possible. And this area, you have to kill the zombies in this particular spot here, including this monkey boy. But yeah, you see there was another monkey boy that followed us from a previous area. You don't have to kill that one, that's why I try to shoot the monkey boy that's in that area, like, as soon as I can, so you can see the difference. And this is, once again, an area where we have to kill all the zombies. So it's really important that we get everybody, like, back here. Because you don't want to, like, have to come all the way back once you reach the other side of the floor. There's gonna be a bunch of zombies that fall down there. Hey, Grumpy, how's it going? Gonna get some ammo. Gonna get all that ammo there. Gonna just double check there's no stragglers here. Sometimes there are. Oh my god. And now we just kill everybody here. Careful with this aggro. They really suck. I like to try to make sure that we don't kill the aggro last because he usually does drop a block of steel. And if you're trying to do all the optimal upgrades, you want like 6 blocks of steel total. And this is the part where we're supposed to protect the barricade. Unfortunately, even though we're on easy, you cannot AFK this. Because they'll do too much damage to the barricade if they get all the way up there. I'm actually going to switch to the handgun to just preserve our shotgun ammo. And basically I'm just going to use this time to just kill a bunch of zombies. And it helps us rack up the kill count for those Hasegawa points, so not really a big deal. Occasionally they might drop some items, but I don't usually see that. Just make sure you don't actually shoot the barricade with your weapon because it'll do damage to it. The barricade is also taking damage from us walking away from it, which is another reason you don't want to, like, AFK this section. And you'll see the timer's about to run out, switch back to the shotgun and reload it. And when this fight starts here, I'm gonna do like a sidestepping dodge because he's very likely to... Oh, there we go, see? When you see him turn invisible like that, you can start, like, just shooting at him. That's weak spot. Oh shit. Yeah, I try to like dodge over to the side so he can't do that. But yeah, that's about it. It's very similar to the Arahabaki that Akiyama fought, but he also like goes invisible. And at which point he'll stand there and take shots. But yeah, now we have to get everybody through the tunnel, so this Daigo and this guy. There is an aggro that can be a little hard. You see where he is here? Sometimes he's actually walking the other way. So this was actually really lucky. We were able to just walk right past. Sometimes he'll be right in your way. And I don't recommend, like, honestly, if he's in the way and you can't walk past, I would just shoot him to try to get him out of the way. Because if you touch him without, like, attacking, he's very likely to just hit you and you'll get stun locked. And we get here to this area trigger, and only the zombies in this back section we have to kill. We don't have to worry about any of the ones we just walked past. So what I'm gonna do is walk up. I'm gonna tell Daigo to attack. And I'm gonna walk up here and take care of these special infected first. Sucks. Mostly the aggro is what I'm worried about, so now that he's gone, I'm gonna get this flamethrower. And I'm basically just gonna use the flamethrower on everybody else. There we go. Chances are you aggravated a bunch of aggros on the way over, so that's why I like to just go ahead and go down to the corner and like shoot the aggro that we need to kill, because I don't want there to be like 3 aggros running around and you don't know which one is the correct one and the other 2 don't matter. So you want to kill the special infected early if you can. Now we're just walking up here towards the florist. And just keep going. Luckily, these NPCs don't have, like, collision like the ones that Akiyama has to deal with. You could just push them out of the way. Why? I don't know. Yeah, there's 2 cutscenes and then a bunch of dialogue here. Oh yeah, and I don't think I've, like, thoroughly explained when we got started about, like, splits. Obviously, the way you do splits is up to you. I like to do chapter splits. So basically, after you get through this save screen, and you usually say no, like, that you don't want to save, that's when I would split into the next, chapter. But basically, for this chapter, all we have to do to finish Majima is get out of here and fight the boss. So I guess before we even get to the boss, I'll just explain, since there's a lot of detail there. Tsuchigumo is the boss that we're about to fight. And basically, what we're going to end up doing is you want to stay very close to him and try to bait out a certain attack that basically is when he grabs like his right arm, he like swings it and does like a spinning attack with it on the ground. That's what we're gonna try to bait out over and over again if we can. Because it just kind of keeps him in a little bit more control. Sometimes he'll do this like jumping attack or a couple other things. He gets like really annoying. Make sure you don't talk to that NPC we just walked past, because that's a sub-story. Luckily, it's not an area trigger sub-story. It's, like, dialogue-based. And then just talk to Akiyama here. And we'll start the fight. Aim down sights and try to aim for his, like, weak spot, which is in the middle there of his, like, belly. And that's what the attack we want him to do. So get close to him and a little bit to the left of him here. If you get too close to the wall, just kind of go around to his other side there. But yeah, we just want him to keep doing the spinning attack here. There we go. Oh, I got a little too close. That's fine. Yeah, you want to back up while he starts doing that attack. Oh, shit. See, this really sucks because I don't have ammo. If you find yourself in this kind of position where you don't want to do a reload animation because of whatever's happening, you can pause and go to your items and then load. Basically click on the ammo and load the gun, and then you pick the correct weapon there. And then you can just press start to get out. I don't know why it wasn't giving me my weak spot hits. That's nice. But yeah, basically I'm just trying to stay really close to keep baiting this spinning attack. Watch your ammo while you're doing it. This QTE is always square. And that's it for Majima's part. Home run, yeah. And then there's a ton of cutscenes you have to skip before you can finish out the chapter. And yeah, at the save screen here, I'm gonna actually pause for a minute to just run to the bathroom, and then we'll get on to Ryuji's part. But yeah, we're gonna start Ryuji's part, which is everybody's favorite part of the run. Basically, right when we start here, we're gonna shoot all the zombies in this area. Someone dropped something. Oh, it was elastic. Never mind. That's fine. But yeah, just kill everybody in that room. I do, if possible, I like to reload while we're still in there, so we have, like, a much higher amount of ammo. Sometimes you can kill everybody without reloading, which seems good, but then you're stuck reloading at the beginning of this next part. So it's not really that much of a difference. Because now we gotta kill a bunch of zombies in this area. I think it's 15 zombies. Again. And you'll see, like, we don't have rapid reload just yet. So I like to hop backwards to try to, like, somewhat animation cancel the reload. And then I did a quick reload so I can get to the next area with a full clip. Come on, dude. And that's 6 zombies in this area. And then you'll see this guy is trying to, like, show Ryuji there's, like, some, oh, look at this shit over there. And then he, like, fucks off. But we don't have to do any of that. We can just follow where he went. When you're first starting out, I definitely recommend getting ammo. There's ammo in the back there, you see? You can just run past these zombies here and go to this ammo box. And then go over here. Once you get used to the route and, like, do a few runs, you get a little more comfortable with your ammo. You don't necessarily need to pick that ammo. Pick up this chainsaw. And that was really bad RNG. It, like, didn't attack the door, but we're trying to... Do not touch that aggro. But yeah, basically cut through all the barricades. Grab this chair. And swing it at some of these zombies. I'm trying to position myself so that the furniture will hit multiple. Oh my god, Ryuji. There we go. Not all the couches are able to be picked up, unfortunately. And you see I did another back hop to try to reload a little bit quicker. These zombies are unfortunately just extremely tanky. You'll see, like, they'll take sometimes multiple headshots and still not be dead yet. The second half of the run, especially with Ryuji and then Kiryu's parts, are like, the zombies are just super tanky. There's another pile of ammo that you can grab if you wanted to. It's in there. So if you feel like you're tight on ammo, grab that one too. Oh, where is he? That one. And yeah, you usually don't have time to reload there because we don't have rapid reload, but that's fine. This next area really sucks, as I'm about to say to almost everything else Ryuji does. They just really gave him the short end of the stick in this run. So in this part of Theater Square, we have to kill all of the zombies. There's always a zombie over here in the corner. And then we're gonna hang back in this area because you'll see as we kill more zombies, a bunch of them are falling down from up there, you see? There's an anime figure always there. You can grab that one if you want some money. And then just make sure around here you'll see like they stop dropping in, then you know you can keep going over here. There's another stack of ammo there you can grab. And at this point I'm gonna go over here to this bulldozer and try to drive it into some of these guys. But what we really want to do is hit the crybabies. There we go. And you can come back around and hit some more. And you basically just want to pay a lot of attention to the zombies in this area. You'll get used to like where they're positioned because, you know, it's not going to let you move on until all of them are dead. And then the crybaby screams, some of them spawn in here. Someone's still alive. And it's like, where the fuck were you 2 seconds ago? I didn't see anybody there. And that's a very common occurrence, unfortunately. And then there's this big tank, you can get some more ammo before we go to the next spot here, so I'm gonna grab some ammo. I already had some from that spot before, so I'm not gonna get all of the ammo. If you didn't get ammo before that other area, then I would recommend getting a bunch. Alright, so for this next part, we're gonna do our first big, like, skill unlock menu. So we have a cutscene here, and then we just wait to interact with the tank that's in front of us. Basically, at this point, Ryuji wants to break this barrier here with this tank. But then he finds out that it's empty, and we need ammo. The funny thing is, though, during Majima's part with Onraki, you actually do have ammo in the tank, and regardless of whether or not Majima uses it, it's empty for the story here, which is kind of silly. But yeah, at this point, just pause as soon as you get control of Ryuji again, and then go to abilities. And we're gonna get headlock on, and then hit up to get to the bottom of the menu here, and get Demolition Man. Super grip, and then hit R1 to go to this other screen here, and you want to get the armor skill twice, and then you want to just fill out the rest with inventory. And then hit start to get out of there. Want to reload here. You get introduced to the Dipteras. And then come over here. And then it's really annoying, but even though we just unlocked headlock on, this technically helps with this part. But this particular spot with these two Dipteras is very annoying. Basically what I'm doing is I'm aiming down sights with L2, right? And shooting. But I'm also letting go and like recentering the camera. So I'm basically like holding down L2 for a couple seconds, letting go, redoing it, rinse and repeat until the Diptera dies. It's really weird. Basically, you're just trying to recenter the camera so you're getting like actual headshots damage. You see, I'm like kind of recentering the camera a few times there, and then you get it. Those two are really annoying. You don't have to kill all the zombies here, just get through to the next area here. And grab this barrel, and then come over here. Ryuji's gonna drop it, but now it's right next to us, so we can pick it up again. And swing it at the hermit. Don't drop it. He automatically drops it there. If you accidentally swing it all 3 times and it explodes, that's not the end of the world. You'll just get a loss of frame rate because, you know, explosions tank the frame rate in this game. So, not really a huge problem. Here you can ignore all these zombies and just come over to the alley here. And these zombies we have to kill. And then once all those zombies die, then it'll be like all in the clear. There is an anime figure right there if you need extra money. And once again, we don't have to kill the zombies. We can just get to where we need to go. So just come over here. And then go over here. There's actually another ammo box if you, for whatever reason, are low at this point on ammo. There's one right there. But otherwise, we just go get out of here. It's the bottom option. And now we have to do a bunch of really annoying NPC, like, escort missions. So, for this first... technically second, but, you know, for this first group, we come over here. Come through this way. There's some ammo on the ground, too. So I don't usually worry about ammo during this part, especially if we got the ones from the tank before. Because there's going to be some more piles of ammo on the ground. These two are really annoying. They will try to attack the zombies themselves. So just make sure you're paying attention to the minimap and listen to them to make sure they're not, like, getting distracted, basically. It's gonna happen. Like, they're doing it right now. So I'm trying to kill all the zombies here. Basically, if you kill the zombies before they can, then they don't have anything to get distracted by. These escort sections, all of them, are like, basically, you're gonna want to pay very close attention to your minimap as much as you can. This first group is just the 2 guys. But the next group we're getting after this is 5 people. So you want to really watch to make sure nobody is, like, falling behind for whatever reason. Sometimes they can get grabbed by a zombie. And if they get really stuck, then you're going to have to go all the way back for them, because these groups here that we're doing, like the 2 guys before, the 5 guys we're getting now, we have to get them all the way to HLA, the HLA building. So yeah, here's the 5 people, and as soon as we can, we'll just turn around and start running and just watch that mini-map. Make sure to kill zombies. See, they're getting a little distracted already. Sometimes you gotta turn around and just make sure you got all 5 people. And unfortunately it does feel very slow, this part of the run, but it kind of just is what it is. It's better to take extra seconds now to make sure that the zombies are with us, than, you know, one of them is all the fucking way over here and you're all the way over here. It, like, really sucks. So at this point, a monkey boy spawns in, and he's... oh god. I try to kill him, usually, because he's gonna probably grab one of these guys. But I guess we'll just be really careful. I'm gonna grab this motorcycle. Really? Because a bunch of zombies are gonna fall down here. I see this guy got grabbed. And just make sure they're all coming with you. And then the actual area to get them to be here is like between these two like lamppost things. The last group, we just go down the street here like we did for the first group. And what we do here, immediately turn around and start shooting these guys. And usually the 3 guys will run up to you. So you don't really have to go down there. And then just make sure they get to the door. And that's it for the escorting, thank God. Now we just come back here, and it is forklift time. Alright, so this part actually confused me a lot when I played for the first time casually. But basically, we just go over here with the forklift, and we have to move the 2 crates over here. So it's this one. And I try really hard to position myself to, like, center in the crate. This is very hard. It takes a lot of practice to get good positioning here, and even after you've gotten lucky a few times, I don't know, it's basically still not easy, even being a lot, like, very practiced, you know? So this first crate we're gonna put over here to the left. Put it down. And then I'm gonna back up a little and get this other one that's right under it. And as soon as this one gets lifted up, it also goes to the left. So I'm moving forward and to the left here. So basically both of them go left. And now from this position, I'm gonna reverse through this alley. If you're not comfortable reversing, you can always do like a K-turn, which is what I used to do. And basically turn around and go through the alley. And now we're gonna come through the same street we've been on a few times. And here's the ammo right here. And I also like to reverse down this street, but again, you can turn around if that's more comfortable for you. That's what I used to do. And you hear the beeps when you're in reverse, so it's about 6 beeps. And then you know you can just start turning to the right here. And now at this point, we just get all the way back to the tank. Make a wide turn here. It's very easy to accidentally get caught on that red vending machine. And luckily, because we're on easy, we don't have to worry about the fuel. We don't have to worry about the damage that we're taking. And then just take it all the way to this, like, area here. And that was weird. At this point, I get ready to start mashing. When you hear that noise, you can start tapping X. And you have to do this 3 times. I'm doing it very slow because I don't feel like mashing. It actually hurts pretty bad when I mash. But when I'm on PB attempts, I'm like mashing with all my might for that part. And that's it for chapter 1. It's one of the longest chapters in the game other than the finale. So this next part, just get rid of that text message, and I like to stick on the right side of the road here. You'll see on the mini-map there is like a sub-story, so you want to be careful when we get closer down there. We're gonna go in here to Cafe Alps and talk to Hasegawa, who's right here, and go to rewards. And what we need for the bare minimum is 100% you need Sarge's unexpected gift. You're gonna lose a lot of time coming back for this if you forgot it. So don't forget Sarge's unexpected gift. We need this for the sprint shirt. And then the rest we can just get gold plates. And then just leave. And then here, I come down the street a little and then cut through this spot here. And we're gonna go to Don Quixote, which is right here. And we are going to buy the Physimagic jersey. Get out of here. And the Physimagic jersey is what's going to get upgraded into the sprint shirt. So now we're going to go to Kamiyama's truck from over here. And there is a sub-story inside the truck that we're going to have to keep saying no to. If you accidentally say yes, it is going to be a big time loss. So it's always get rid of him already. And then sell items. And then sell all those gold plates. And any anime figures that you have. And basically, it's like I have the exact amount of money in my notes, the ones that are on SRC, that you need for the upgrades, but if you're like at 600k or over, you have enough money to do everything else we need to do. So invest, and I hold left to go all the way there, and then just up. And then remember, get rid of him already. Invest again. And this time it's 200,000. So now we invested again, get rid of him already. And now we want to buy weapons. Alright, so buy weapon, and then we're gonna buy the hunting shotgun. And then down here, the grenade launcher. And we're gonna buy items. And we're gonna get... At this point, I usually have the 2 STAM XX, but basically you just need to have 3. So I only need to buy 1. Just pay attention to how many you need to have 3. And then 3 toughness ZZ. And then with the rest of the inventory, I'll get 3 stacks of grenade launcher ammo. And then whatever else I can fit in shotgun ammo. And now we mod armor. If you hit R1 twice and then go to the bottom, it's the sprint shirt right there. And then mod weapon. And then I hit L1 a few times and it gets you to Gatling gun. And actually I didn't see how much block of steel we have, so I'm actually gonna do this. And we don't have enough. We're actually 1 short. So this isn't a run killer. It sucks when it happens, but basically we want to upgrade the shotgun we just got to Pathmaker, but we need 1 more block of steel. Unfortunately, this just happens sometimes. If you got lucky and some other zombies dropped block of steel, sometimes you just get a little more lucky. You'll already have enough and you can do the whole upgrade here. The only issue now is we're either going to finish the run without upgrading this at all, or we'll have to see what happens with Kiryu has an opportunity to upgrade it. So hopefully between now and Kiryu's part, we can get 1 more block, which I think is the, like, we'll be able to. And that's it for the menu. So yeah, basically just to recap, we sold all of our gold plates and our anime figures. Just make sure you have like about 600,000 or more yen. And then you can invest twice the 100,000 and then 200,000. And then we bought the hunting shotgun and the grenade launcher. We have 3 STAM XX and 3 toughness CZ. We modded the sprint shirt, and then we modded Ryuji's Gatling gun. And if you have enough material, then you'll mod the shotgun. If you only have enough material for 1 upgrade, I highly recommend upgrading Ryuji's gun first, because Kiryu can just do the hunting shotgun later. But yeah, now we're gonna equip the grenade launcher, the shotgun, and the sprint shirt. And now we just go to the next story waypoint. And this next room is going to be a bunch of super tanky zombies like I was talking about before. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot the zombie that's like right in front of us. And then I'm gonna like get into the corner where he was standing, if I can get him knocked down on the floor. And I'm gonna pull out the grenade launcher and try to hit a group of the zombies in the room. We'll see how that goes. No. That's alright. This room just sucks. Sometimes it's... And this purple suit guy has like 1,000,000 HP. So that's very normal. If you keep seeing him get up and he's still not dead, like, he's just like that for some reason. You can start turning around while you're waiting for this phone call to start, and then just press start to get out of the phone call. And now, right after this, you want to... I'm actually going to reload the Gatling gun, but switch to the grenade launcher, make sure it's loaded. Because you want to use this on the hermit right here. And that one-shots the hermit. Turn around. Up. He's being an asshole. There we go. There. Oh no, he dropped a hermit amulet. Wow. That was another chance to get a block of steel we were missing. But yeah, sometimes, basically, what I like to do there, like we did, was I use the grenade launcher on the hermit first, because he can be really nasty. But sometimes if you have, like, either good timing or just good luck, you can then turn and shoot the Diptera with the grenade launcher. And 2 grenades will kill the Diptera if he stays in place. But the problem is, which happened this time, is he, like, flew away. So I just killed him normally with the Gatling gun. Oh, and at this point, actually, we have the sprint shirt on. So now we actually don't want to reload or shoot the gun unless we have to. Like, you know, to get zombies out of the way. Molotovs are very annoying. They can get you stun locked very easily. But yeah, we come down here. This whole area is like a freaking maze. It took me quite a while to get used to where you have to go. So you come back around here. And then, oh my god. And then sometimes you have to like roll over there. These Molotov zombies are a huge pain in the ass. And there's a meathead here. Usually he's where he is there. Like, you could just walk right past. If you find yourself wanting to reload while you have the sprint shirt on, I recommend doing it, like, close to a scene transition or a door. So that's, like, less time. Basically, shooting and reloading slows you down with the sprint shirt on. The sprint shirt raises our walking speed while the weapon is not being held up, basically. So if you do want to reload, I would recommend doing it, like, right before we're about to roll into a scene transition. And now we're coming back down here the way we came. We have to shoot down this barricade. Oh, there we go. Take out the grenade launcher. And there's a bunch of zombies on both sides, so... Just gonna use My god, die. Jesus. But yeah, now I'm gonna switch to the handgun really quick, and you can actually shoot this from far away, which is why I do that. And then just come down here, and I like to shoot this zombie, and then roll into this dialogue. It's the bottom option. Hang in there, kid. And I like to reload before this spot because there's gonna be a lot of shooting here. Get into this room, and a bunch of zombies are gonna fall in. And it's another room with like 15 zombies. So once you see the kill count go up to 15, you got them all. And then you want to be back here so you can talk to Solid Snake here. JK, it's this random guy. I would like to reload, but there's another scene transition here, so I'm first gonna get out of here. And now we can reload. We gotta shoot a barricade. Do that. And that's 3 zombies. And we actually want to take out the grenade launcher for these next 2 rooms. So make sure the grenade launcher is loaded. You get over here. I'm gonna aim it like at the wall, kind of behind them, so that the splash damage can damage like all 5 of the zombies. Most of the time, even if you do that, I'm just gonna say like you're most likely only gonna kill 4, and there's gonna be 1 zombie in the back that you still have to kill, so just be like mentally prepared for that. But sometimes you get lucky like we did here and you get all 5 of them. And then just reload while we're going upstairs. Sometimes the camera's funny like that. And this one, just aim, and it'll get, usually it'll get all 6 right there. Switch to the Gatling gun and reload it. And then just come down here, down the stairs. And then this is actually where I like to do the crash rule. So we skip a cutscene, then skip some dialogue. So during runs, basically, there'll be another save screen. I'll show you here where it happens. Alright, so here I would pause the timer and then save the game. And actually, just to show you the way we do crash rule, I'll go ahead and do it because we've been running the game for a while, so I mean, it's possible we can even get a crash. So to avoid that, let's just go ahead and do it. So once it says save completed, just quit the game. And then let it go to the home screen and just go right back into the game. Oh shit. But yeah, just go right back into the game. And then basically we're just gonna load the save. So yeah, just go to load the save we just made. And then basically after I, get out of this and then you see the chapter title card come up is when I would resume the timer and then split to the next chapter. Right here. And you can do that anywhere in the game, by the way. So if you do the run and like figure out that you're getting a lot of baby rage crash, for example, you could do the crash rule before baby rage or before Hayashi. I just find that in my experience, I've gotten Pops and Hayashi crash more often than the other crashes. So I like to wait until I've gotten to this point. Then if I'm on, you know, a good pace, or if I just want the run to finish, I'll do the crash rule where we just did. And then in my experience, I've never gotten a crash after doing a crash roll, but I should never say never with this game. So the reason we wanted to make sure to reload everything is we're gonna go right into a boss here. And we're gonna fight Pops. So the thing with Pops is he's got his, like, tentacles, and we want to shoot the two in the middle on both sides. So ignore the tentacles on the top and bottom. We're only going to attack the middle ones. And you want to make sure to completely attack one of them before... Alright, well, he starts doing that shit. Come over here. But see how I started with that top one? I'm going to keep attacking that one, and then that one dies, right? So then he comes back to the middle here, then you start attacking another one. And then you just want to avoid his attacks in between. There's another tentacle. So now we gotta get ready for one of these. There's another one. And then one more. That was actually a really good Pops phase 1. Sometimes he'll do a bunch of annoying shit. He'll, like, raise all of his tentacles and smack the middle of the floor. And, it's just a huge, unfortunate time loss. Ew. But yeah, that's basically the strat, is you just want to attack those 4 tentacles in the middle. And then come back here and take out the grenade launcher and aim it. And just wait to see where he's gonna come out. Shoot the grenade launcher. That does that, but it's like pretty good damage, so. And now he's down to 1 HP. Pull out the handgun. You need him to go back down, so he's being a little annoying. So now he's gonna be a heat snipe. This is probably gonna be square. Yeah. So I'll just explain how that works. So you see how Pops came out from the hole in the floor to the right, which is closer to Ryuji. I don't know if this is 100% of the time, but it seems to be that way. More often than not, if he comes out of that hole and is closer to Ryuji, the QTE is square, and it's a very, very fast QTE, even on easy. So just be mentally prepared that it's either going to be square or circle. Sometimes if he comes out of the other hole that's like farther away, it's going to be circle, and you have more time to do the QTE. But basically the strat there in phase 2 is to wait for him to come up and shoot him with the grenade launcher. Once he gets down to 1 HP or like extremely low HP, you have to kill him with a heat snipe. And this is one of those fights where you have to kill him with the heat snipe. So if you fail, you'll basically just have to do it again. But yeah, if we do get Pops Crash, which, like I said, we're not likely to because we did Crash Rule, in my experience, I usually get Pops Crash on this street after the fight. I've heard, I think Panda and Froob might have had the crash, like, it'll be, like, right here. It'll just freeze. But sometimes I've heard some other people get it before Pops fight. That has not happened to me. I've only had it after, for whatever reason. Oops. That sucks. Dude came right up to me. Alright, so we killed one of them, and now I actually want to kill Onraki. If you don't suck at aiming like I do, then you can actually shoot that thing, like, out of his hand. Alright, he's dead, so now get the other Arahabaki. But yeah, basically, the reason I like to kill the Onraki either first or second, basically just not last, is the Onraki has a shorter, a longer and slower death animation than Arahabaki. It's a pretty small difference, so if you kill, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. You're just gonna lose, like, maybe like 2 seconds. If that. But that's it for Ryuji. And I'm pretty sure we did get another block of steel, so I'm going to... We have to get through Kiryu's chapter 1 first. Which is just, like, a bunch of punching zombies. So, basically what we want to do here is do light heavy. And then stomp the last one. So basically I did that to 6. So we did light heavy attacks on 6 zombies in a row, and then after the 6th one, you stomp that zombie on the ground to get them up. And then basically we just do the same thing again. So it's just a bunch of cutscenes. And then basically just light heavy, 6 zombies, and then after the 6th one falls, stomp that zombie. Alright, so 1, 2, Kiryu, 3, 4, 5, 6, stomp. Just trying to stomp this fucking one. Good job, Kiryu. Targeting system is a huge suggestion in these games. That's why even though this is a third-person shooter, this is very much a Yakuza game. But yeah, here we just go forward and then turn around the first corner here. You see 302. In real life, I get lost very easily, so this is what helped me remember. But once you see 302, we keep going straight. There's a blue car, so we keep going. And just go all the way down. And now, similar this time, but we're gonna do light heavy, wait for his feet to touch the ground, and then stomp. And sometimes he'll whiff the stomp, so... And basically, we're just doing this 6 times. If you try to stomp while his feet are still in the air, you're more likely to miss the stomp. So that's why you see me, like, kind of wait for a second before I do the stomp. And yeah, so now we're in chapter 2. Kiryu automatically ends up going to Kamiyama's truck, so that's the perfect opportunity if you were short on materials like we were with Ryuji. So we can try to get the shotgun upgrade with Kiryu during this part here. Because the shotgun's going to be pretty good for Kiryu's part, and especially the finale. Just go in the truck. Don't talk to him yet, just come back here and talk to this door. Items. Get the sprint shirt. And then... gonna get like 3 stacks of shotgun. Ideally... well, 2 stacks is fine. We're gonna get more ammo outside. And then you want like 1 stack of the rifle ammo. And then while you're on this side of the menu, hit R1 to look at your weapons. And then just get the hunting shotgun, the rifle, and the grenade launcher. You don't need the grenades. And that's it. And then... and I put the sniper rifle here and the shotgun on the right. The reason I do that is because, and actually this is kind of important because when you go later in the run, you're automatically going to get Kiryu's anti-material rifle, and it goes on the left D-pad, and you want to keep your grenade launcher and your shotgun. So you really want to make sure to put the sniper rifle on the left, because that's what'll get replaced when we get the anti-material. And then you always have the handgun that's just always there. And then make sure to put on the sprint shirt. And then go to abilities. And you want to get rapid reload. And then go here and get max focus ultra. And then we can talk to Kamiyama and try to mod this gun. Oh, you're kidding me, dude. Well, we're just not going to get the upgrade. Everything else stands, though. Normally, we don't even have to talk to Kamiyama. You would just do everything we just did, like get all your items and your equipment, equip it. And actually, this is important, too, because I was talking about, like, kind of quick menuing in this run. To be, like, optimal in this menu, you want to do the equipment first, which is what we did, and then go back and then get the abilities so that once you unlock your last ability, you just press start and it gets you right out of the menu pretty fast. So that really sucks that we don't have the upgraded shotgun. It happens. You know, we can still finish the run, but we'll probably lose like a little bit of time not having the extra damage. And then once you have all your stuff, just talk to Asagi. And we have the sprint shirt on. We're gonna put on the shotgun just in case we need to shoot, but otherwise we're not shooting or reloading. Just run. And we're gonna go over here and follow a very specific way. Turn here onto pink. We're just ignoring all the zombies. Don't worry about Asagi, she's fine. And now we gotta... This part's very awkward. It just took a while to memorize, like, the way to go, but this is a very, like, twisty and turny around the corner kind of walk here. But you just basically come over here, get out of here. We're cutting through that whole area, and now we're back outside. And now we're coming up here. And around the corner, and once you see... I'm panning up a few times to see where there's a meathead there. We want to avoid him. And we want to shoot the barricade. And we can get some ammo while we're out here. There's an ammo box right here. Honestly, I didn't need that much ammo, but whatever. Especially the rifle ammo. But it's fine. Just go inside. We don't have to kill any zombies. We just have to get upstairs. There's gonna be Molotov zombies here. And you hear them yelling. Usually, if you hear that, then you know you can, like, do a dodge roll. And usually it'll protect you from getting hit by that Molotov, but yeah. Basically the same as Majima earlier, we're going all the way over here. Get through this room. And then while we're getting toward the end here, I'll, like, make sure my stuff is loaded. But I want the shotgun first to be what we have out. So let's come over here. And now we'll have to kill all the zombies that are in this room. And this is the room where we're going to use... We unlocked Max Focus Ultra. Hopefully we'll get to use it. Tell her to attack. Oops. The shotgun. So, see how there's a yellow barrel right there? We want to heat snipe that because there's a crybaby here, so just hit triangle, and then you need to use the left stick to aim at the barrel and then do the heat snipe. And then, yeah, luckily it worked this time. Usually what we're trying to do is that heat snipe will kill the crybaby, the monkey boy, and the couple zombies that are there. Sometimes that goes wrong, and some of them survive. You have to just shoot them normally. And if it goes really bad, sometimes the barrel will have already exploded because somebody shot it. In which case, the backup there is to use your grenade launcher and just make sure to shoot the crybaby first so she doesn't call for backup. And yeah, this part, the reason we have the sniper rifle that Akiyama had earlier is because there's a part where we might end up having to use a rifle, but the one that they provide to you in game, like if you don't have one on you, it really sucks. It's very difficult to aim, and the damage is terrible. So I use that walk there just to make sure all my weapons are loaded. And that way we just come over here. You want the grenade launcher to be out first. And then come over here. And then just start aiming the grenades. You have to aim kind of high. It's kind of hard to get a feel for it. But sometimes you get really lucky and all the zombies are like out instead of like hiding like down in there. So yeah, all of them died with just grenades. Sometimes you have to pull out the sniper rifle to clean up any stragglers, you know. So now we're outside. We're gonna tell both of them to attack. So to tell Majima to attack, hold R2 and then hit R1 so that you're on his menu there. I'm using the grenade launcher on, like, the crowds of zombies and the special infected. And then I'm just gonna switch to the shotgun. This part does feel very slow because there's just zombies, like, everywhere. Fuck off, dude. Come on. And then you'll get to a point where there's only a few on both sides, so I'll take out the sniper rifle. You'll see these guys are crawling from under the truck. They're actually invulnerable until they are, like, completely standing up after crawling from under the truck. But yeah, this part, you can grab some more ammo if you need. I'm pretty good on every other ammo, except I just want to make sure we have a ton of grenade launcher ammo. Oh my god, dude. But yeah, same again as Majima, we just get all the way down to the end. And then I'm gonna tell Asagi to attack when we get down here. Grab the flamethrower. Nice. Alright, and that's it. Basically, like Majima earlier, with this group, with Kiryu though, I usually grab the flamethrower first and just start getting... because there's a lot of, like, mobs of zombies. So the flamethrower is really good against the... it's actually terrible against special infected, but it's really good for the, like, just groups of regular zombies. And we just got a couple cutscenes here. And we're making our way to the florist, too. Once again. We run into Akiyama on the way. And the funny thing is, when Majima goes here, it's 2 cutscene skips and then dialogue. But with Kiryu, it's dialogue and then cutscenes. And then some more dialogue. And now this is why we got ammo before in the tunnel. So now we can just come over here, talk to Akiyama. Bottom option, we're good. And now we have to do a timer segment. Just come back here, tell Akiyama to back you up. Doesn't really matter though. Basically, we just need the timer to be done, so keep the camera down. It doesn't really matter if you're killing all the zombies. I just usually kill the ones that come down here and get in my way. Another thing I like to do, which I guess I'll wait till we get to the next minute mark here. It's another good time to make sure all your weapons are loaded. You don't want to pause at any point here because the timer's going, and pausing will just obviously pause the timer as well. And pick up this fire extinguisher. And spray it at Akiyama, and it's just funny, you know? Very integral to the run. Alright, last minute here. But yeah, once again, while we're on the last minute here, just make sure everything is fully loaded. Especially that grenade launcher and the shotgun, very important, but honestly, everything except the handgun you need to worry about. So, in the next part, we want to have the shotgun out, and that's what we have, like, ready to go. Because we're about to fight Basan, who is very, very annoying. And this is why it kind of sucks that we didn't get the shotgun upgrade, but it should work fine without it. Just maybe slightly less damage. Skip a cutscene here. And I'll explain Basan as we get started with that one in a second here. So just run. Try not to attack anybody, just run. Avoid this meathead. And then there's one more cutscene, and then we get started with Basan. So with Basan, as soon as we have the ability, you're going to want to be aiming down sights with the shotgun and start shooting. And hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 weak spot hits. So like I'm already holding L2 so I can aim at him. And then shoot. And then get out the rifle. This really sucks. Oh my god, dude. It's like one of the worst Basans I've had in a long time. Oh no. He does not normally land here. Normally he's in... This is honestly ridiculous, actually. I'm surprised that this is working from this far away. But basically, once he lands, you need to just start going to town with the grenades. This is why we need a lot of grenades. And I'm like hammering R1 to make sure that there's no gap in time between our shots here. Alright, so it still worked. That was very unusual. That's actually not normal. But the strat otherwise still worked. We lost time because I think, honestly, part of that is from not having the upgraded shotgun because he didn't take that much damage in those first 2 shots there. And with the upgrade, he probably would have taken a nicer chunk of damage. And it's easier to get him to land. Basically, you want him to land. So usually what happens is you shoot him with the shotgun a couple times, he flies off to either the left or the right, and then you hit him in the weak spot with the sniper rifle. And then after he takes enough damage there, he'll fly down to, like, perch somewhere. And when you start seeing his feet touch the floor, basically, where he's gonna land, then you start going to town with the grenade launcher, which is basically what we did, but he just didn't land where he normally does. I'll have to, like, insert a picture of the spot where he normally goes to, because 99.9% of the time, it doesn't go the way it just did now. But of course, we're making a tutorial, so the weird shit is gonna happen. This next part is actually, like, you can just straight up take a break if you're playing on any percent or New Game Plus, since it's on easy. If you're playing on Dead Souls difficulty, you absolutely have to participate in this, so ignore what I'm saying about that. But for any percent, we can actually, like, basically you have to skip this dialogue, and then you'll see that we start to go on rails, driving the tank. So once we start driving, you can just get up, and you have like 3 minutes that you can do whatever, get up and come back. But you want to make sure to pan the camera down off to the side just to preserve as much frame rate as possible. You can, and now at this point you can, like, get up, you can take a piss, get a drink. That's what I usually do. If not, then I'll just, like, put down my controller and stretch for a few minutes. But as far as any percent, there's really not much to this. As you can see, we're hitting a ton of zombies, and we're barely taking any damage. So you really don't have to worry about any of that. Even on New Game Plus, we have the Bloody Binding on, which gives us, like, negative, defense, and you still don't take enough damage to die. But yeah, you'll see like Onraki's here, and he's like wailing on us. It really does not matter. The other thing about this part, if you're playing casually or even doing the run, you'll see that he has this purple health bar. Even if you attack him and you bring it down to nothing, it's fake. He's not gonna die because this whole thing is scripted, so you don't really benefit from attacking him here. On Dead Souls, or I would say like on hard, EX hard and Dead Souls, you do have to attack him because you just don't want him to keep smashing the tank because you'll take too much damage. But on like easy and normal, it's fine. Whatever. And at this point, if you took a break for this, you would want to start getting ready to come back here, because in a second we're gonna want to start actually shooting. Even for here, you don't really have to. But the Onraki is gonna start chasing us again, and we're gonna actually want to start shooting him. So yeah, and here he is. And we're basically just trying to interrupt so he doesn't like ram into the tank. And now we're gonna go all the way back into this corner, and you want to wait for Onraki to get closer to us, so don't attack him yet, wait for him to get close. And now, wail. Make sure you don't overheat, so take a second to... There we go. You do have to stop a couple times just to make sure you don't overheat. If you do happen to overheat, it's a pretty big time loss because you have to wait for the meter to go all the way back down again. So it's better to, like, you know, take a couple seconds once or twice to make sure it doesn't overheat. And yeah, that's it for... In a way, that's the end for Kiryu's part, but it just goes into the finale, and we're still going to be playing as Kiryu. And now we finally get the anti-material rifle. Not sure why it's like so freaking late in the game and they finally give it to us. And now, basically we just talk to Ryuji to get the finale started. And he's gonna be like, "Are you sure?" Yeah. Talk to him. Bottom option twice. Gonna take out the shotgun just in case. Molotov zombies are sniping today. But basically we just want to walk all the way to the Millennium Tower, so go through this gate here. Gonna tell Ryuji to attack. I'm gonna use this time to reload some of our weapons there. And also, I'm gonna go to this ammo box. And I'm just gonna get anti-material. This part kind of sucks. You just kind of... If there's either special infected or like a bunch of zombies grouped up, then you want to use grenade launcher. Otherwise, just use the shotgun. But yeah, try to take care of everybody in like sections. So all the guys that were over there. See, there's a bunch of zombies over here. I'm actually going to come over here and use the tank. Nice. And yeah, that's why I like to take a little extra time getting all the zombies in that other area, because it really sucks when you're like kind of going all back and forth. It's kind of better to like, you know, get everybody in sections. Ignore all these zombies, you can just go down the escalator. But yeah, just take care of all the zombies downstairs. And now, when we get control of Kiryu again, we want to switch back to the anti-material rifle, because it'll help us get through the next room. There's an aggro here that's usually in the way, I just shoot him. It doesn't kill him, but it just gets him out of the way. There's some ammo on the floor. You gotta shoot these doors down, which goes down in one shot if you have the rifle out. More ammo here if you need it. And now just try to run up around the corner and up the stairs. We'll take out the shotgun. Up here. And basically Ryuji's just trying to close this door and we have to defend him. I want to have the shotgun out, but I also use these times to, like, you know, see where I'm at with ammo on my other weapons. We want to try to push through this room. You might have to shoot your way. It's gonna be a lot of zombies clogging the area. Come in here. And then we get told, like, that there's a safe that has, like, the key that we need. And the problem with this game, unfortunately, is even if you know the code already, the game is like, no, you actually don't know. So we have to go find the information. So now we have to go back to Majima's office. So you come through here. Get out the rifle again. Might have to shoot our way through the room. Oh god. Alright. We almost had a big problem, but we got out of it. Like I said before, you'll see, like, I'll do a reload right before a scene transition. Because you can kind of cancel the reload halfway through, and you still got your reload. Yeah, that sucks. The hermit stays if you hadn't killed him before. And now I'm like, I'm on the couch. Nice. You know what? I can actually say this has not happened to me during a run before. That's a new one. Talk to this guy. And then we're gonna have to put the code in. So I have my left finger on left, you know, left D-pad. Because you can do the code, you know, from the right, but I have, like, really bad, like, dyscalculia. I really need to do the number in the right, like, left to right order. So it's 3, 5, 3, 8. But if you can learn to do that from right to left, it would be faster. I just can't compute in my brain. But that's fine. Just get out of here. And we're getting ready for Hayashi. Another point where it can crash for some people. Yeah, sometimes it's better to just shoot through the room, especially when you have the anti-material rifle. Even though we're trying to take advantage of the sprint shirt, sometimes it's better to just shoot your obstacles away. Make sure your rifle's loaded. And we're gonna do Hayashi. So basically with Hayashi, we're mostly gonna use the rifle. And it's very situational. Sometimes we might benefit from the shotgun, but actually probably not this time because we didn't upgrade it. Tell Ryuji to attack. And you'll see I am shooting and then doing a backstep. Okay, so this isn't bad. We went right into grenade phase. Sometimes if you don't do much damage in the beginning, you'll get a weird QTE where he tries to grab Ryuji. And yeah, he'll throw grenades, and then if one of them explodes, you'll get the sprinkler. The sprinkler is extremely hard to avoid, especially on any percent. Just try your best to keep an eye on him and keep shooting and backstepping. Yeah, if he goes up on the ceiling... Oh, fuck. He goes up on the ceiling, you can knock him down and get, like, a free weak spot hit. That's actually where I would switch to the shotgun if we had upgraded it, but we didn't, so I'm gonna keep using the rifle. Oh, shit. That's actually bad. Yeah, so what happens if you knock Hayashi over while he's using Ryuji's arm as a gun? Ryuji will take the arm back, which is just more, you know, time loss because you have to see the cutscene. This is actually a pretty bad Hayashi. It happens. And at this point, this is where you can get the crash, if you're gonna get it. Basically, we're gonna skip the next cutscene, and if you don't see anything, but you hear the dialogue, then you got the crash, and you're not gonna be able to get out of it without just, like, restarting the console. We're good. But yeah, that was not a very good Hayashi at all. Technically could have been worse. And it has been worse. And now here I'm going to switch back to the shotgun. Tell him to attack. And then just come around in a circle. I'm like, you know, strafing with L1 and just going around in a circle to shoot all these zombies around us. And now just come over here. And we're gonna do one of those things again where, you know, we protect Ryuji while he closes the door. There's gonna be two zombies that crawl from under the closing door. But you don't actually really have to worry about that. You can just come over here and reload all your weapons. And this time you actually want your anti-material to be out. And I just kind of like walk into the barrier here. And get ready to shoot. Just to get everybody out of your way. And basically I'm just shooting my way through. I'm gonna shoot there, and it seems like nothing, but hopefully it'll break the thing. Oh, it broke. So actually what normally happens is Ryuji will, like, this thing will still be going off, and Ryuji will be like, we gotta break this thing, and then you aim at it and shoot. You'll see that I, like, shot kind of diagonally into the wall, and it managed to break this thing. Literally, this will only save you, like, a second, or maybe even, like, half a second. But it's just kind of funny when you can pull it off. Hell yes, and then we go into the rest of the finale here. Once again, tell him to attack. Where are they going? They're, like, going all the way in the back. Weird. Actually... sometimes when they're, like, right on top of each other, I'll use the grenade launcher, but usually they separate at some point. And you'll see the frame rate gets really bad in this room because of the, like, floor. Oh my god. That sucks when you're already, like, sidestepping. And then at some point when they get, like, kind of HP gated, it looks like they're healing, but what they're actually doing is just redistributing their HP. So it's not really that bad. Again, remember what I told you during Fujigumo. If you find yourself in these kind of situations, sometimes it's better to just pause and reload the weapon from the start menu. One hit away, nice. But yeah, all we have left is Nikaido, which I don't expect to get Nikaido skip, unfortunately. It's very difficult to do without the upgrade to the rifle. It is possible. Definitely not super easy. So once again, I'm gonna tell Ryuji to attack. That's kind of bullshit. It looks like he got hit, but he didn't take damage. When you have the rifle upgraded, he'll take more damage before going into this phase. So at this point, I actually like to turn up the volume because we're looking for this beating heart, and you can kind of like hear where it is. Shoot it once and then it'll move. And then it'll stay here. Fuck off. We're not gonna get Nikaido skip, probably. Yeah. It's because I got grabbed, which I was trying to avoid. He healed a little bit, and now, like, he got HP gated before he could take enough damage to die. But like I said, it's very difficult to do Nikaido skip on without the upgrades. And yeah, this is the final boss. Basically, just rifle. I like to just shoot his body. You can technically shoot his weak spot in his eye, but it takes me longer to aim at it and then try to hit it. So I just shoot the body. And then at this point you get grabbed. You want to mash X or, you know, at least on PS3 it's this X here. And then this is triangle. And then just keep going at him with the rifle. There we go. So now I'm gonna position myself like right in front of where his mouth is here, because they're gonna give us some grenades and you want to throw them into his mouth twice. So it remembers where you're standing here, so just makes it a little easier to aim here. So just aim. And then I just keep standing here. He's gonna do his like smashing attack, and I go a little bit forward here. And then just do a roll. And then you're still like right in front of his mouth. And then you just have to wait for Asagi to give you like the missile launcher. The funny thing is, even on New Game Plus, we have to do this, even though we have, like, a powerful laser.
弱点を狙って
But yeah, once we have control again, just aim at the big weak spot on his belly and shoot the missile, and then you'll get a QTE. QTE is always triangle. And right as you do the QTE, make sure you're mashing triangle, by the way. And as soon as you do that QTE, you can end the timer. And that's time. Thanks for the GG, Firelight. But yeah, that's Dead Souls. Any percent. Like I said, I love this run. It's a lot of fun, honestly. Even though a couple of things went bad, it's like I'm still having a good time doing this run. Maybe I can't say that when I'm doing like a heavy PB grind, but you know.
殺すのかい私を
And yeah, like I said in the beginning, if there's ever like, you know, if anyone's ever watching this and has like some kind of specific question, definitely feel free to ask. I'm gonna edit this down and put this on YouTube, so you could always comment there or like hit me up on Discord, wherever, honestly. Thanks, Grumpy. And yeah, I'll have the notes linked. They're also on SRC if you need them there. They're pretty up to date. And I have notes for any percent, AS, New Game Plus, and Amon percent. And also a separate note that is like the list of upgrade materials.